Hello friends and welcome back to my channel JD Tech Academy. In today's video, we'll learn about the networking basics for system admin. It's not just for Windows admins, but yeah. So if you become a system administrator, you might be working in Linux, you might be working in Windows. So the networking basics, it remains the same. So let's get started. So here are a few details that I have mentioned here. I'll explain one by one. So let's go. The first one I have mentioned is the IP address. So let's go through the definition first. What is an IP address? An IP address is a unique numerical identifier assigned to every device on a network. So what does that mean? This means that every device on your network will be having a unique IP address. So it cannot be like two devices are having the same IP address. It is not possible. If you forcefully uh, enter these IP addresses into the devices, they will have a conflict and they will not be able to communicate in your network, right? Because that is a conflict. So, in any organization in the network, the network itself, the network infrastructure, they identify devices using the IP address. So, let's say you have two devices device first device is test 1, second is test 2. Okay, so the test 1 device will be having something like this, say for example 192.168.1.0, sorry, the 1.10, right? And the another device test 2 will be having something like 192.168.1.11 or maybe 12 or 13, but it will not be the same, right? So this so IP address is assigned to every device and it is unique. It is used to identify your devices in the network, so you can easily know, right? Okay, this device is going to communicate to test 1 device, the 10 one. The 11 IP address that we have assigned, it is communicating with test 2 device, right? So that is very important for you to understand that the IP address concept. So you can go and explore the kind of IP addresses that we have. So I'm not going to uh, dive deeply into this, but IP address is a very crucial thing that you should learn. Okay, so that you can easily troubleshoot any networking related things in your environment, right? So let's move on to the second point. The second point says DNS, the domain naming system. So what is it? So let's go through the definition first. It is DNS translates human readable domain names into IP addresses that computers use to communicate, right? So as the definition says, DNS is that system that will translate the human readable website names or the names that you have assigned for your host names for your machines, right? It will translate it into the IP addresses that is assigned to your devices, right? Or the web servers or pages, anything. So the computers use IP address to communicate, but it is very difficult for any human to always remember the IP addresses, right? So let's say, for example, the IP address of Google is 8.8.8.8, right? So everybody don't know about that thing, and they might not remember as well, right? Okay, we have to type 8.8.8.8. Okay, so the host names or the website names that we give, that is in the human readable format, but computer does not understand this language, right? Computer has their own language, so they have this IP address format also to communicate. But how does it happen? It is the DNS, the domain naming system, that makes it possible for the computer to understand the human readable domain names and convert them into the IP addresses, like where they are trying to reach. right? To which device? Let's move on to the third one, the gateway, the default gateway. A gateway is the device. It is usually a router. It might be in your home also as well. Uh, that connects your local network to other networks, including the internet. So what that means is, suppose you have your home network, right? And your ISP provides you a router. That router is connected to the internet, right? That is the gateway. Like without that gateway, you cannot connect to the internet, right? So similarly, we have these gateways and routers that is in our organization as well, but it is definitely known probably as the gateway. So that is the gateway for your organization to connect to the internet. So these devices are also very uh, important for any networking system in a organization. The fourth one is the DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. Okay, so what does the protocol do? It automatically assigns the IP addresses and other network settings to devices on a network, right? So if you have a DHCP server in your organization, that probably will be there in every organization, right? So it eliminates the need for the system administrators to go and assign a static IP address to any laptop that needs to be connected to your network, right? Or maybe your desktop as well, or maybe any testing device or a mobile phone, anything. So what does a DHCP server do? So here are the steps that the DHCP performs in order to automatically assign the IP address to the devices in your network, right? So the first one is the DHCP discover. So the discover process, it starts from your endpoint devices, your laptop, your computer. Okay. So once it is connected to maybe a LAN cable in your network, or maybe you are trying to connect to a Wi-Fi in your office, right? So once you connect to that, it goes to the DHCP server. Then the DHCP server offers that device a IP address that is available. Hmm. And the third process is the DHCP request. Your laptop says, yeah, give me that IP address, assign me that IP address. Then the DHCP server acknowledges that, and it assigns the IP address to your laptop or desktop or a mobile device, correct? So DHCP is very important for large organizations, mostly because we cannot always rely, or maybe we cannot always have someone to go into the device and put a static device, and you cannot maintain a record like which IP address is available, which IP address you have assigned to any device. So we are going to eliminate the manual thing here, right? So the DHCP is very important for us in the networking perspective, right? And so this is pretty much the basic things that you should know in order to troubleshoot any networking related issues in your environment. Okay, so let's go and have a look how we can get some of the details in a laptop, right? So we are going to perform some of the commands. You can always come back to this video and refer to these commands if you uh, want to learn about this. So let's get started. I'll just press Windows R and I will go to CMD, the command prompt, right? So here the first command that we are going to run is ipconfig. In Windows, it is ipconfig. In Linux, it will be ifconfig. But this doesn't work in Windows, so we will go with ipconfig. What does it do? Let's see. So here are the details that the ipconfig command provides us. It will provide you with all the network interfaces that is connected to your laptop, the Ethernet adapter you can see here, and wireless LAN, and this is the detail that it is showing for my Wi-Fi, right? As I told you, the IPv4 address, this is assigned to my device at the moment, 192.168.1.4. You can see we have this default gateway as well. This is in IPv6 format that probably we are currently still not using that much. And this is the IPv4 format, right? So here is the gateway IP that is assigned to my router here in my home, right? 192.168.1.1. So you'll get all of these details when once you enter this command ipconfig in your laptop or desktop, right? And it works in Windows. If you want to know about all these things in Linux, you have to type ifconfig. Then let's say if you type ipconfig slash all, right? Once you hit enter, it will give you details about every connected adapter and what is the IP address, what is the DHCP server, who's the DNS server in your network. Okay, everything related to your connected interfaces, network interfaces, that is the Wi-Fi or maybe the LAN cable that you have connected to your Ethernet adapter, right? So it will show you what is the IP address that is connected to these devices. Okay, and then let's have a look at NS lookup. Let's say I want to do NS lookup with google.com, right? So as you can see, it is giving me these details, right? So if we do NS lookup google.com, so google.com is basically in the human readable format that I told you about, the DNS, right? So that is the human readable format, and computer does not, basically understand that. It is the DNS that helps any computer to understand where this host name is going to which server, right? So you get if you use this command with any website, okay, it is not mandatorily necessary with any website, any server. If you type their host name here, it will give you the IP address as well as to where it is going, correct? Yeah. So there is one more command which we refer to as ping, right? So we'll do it ping 8.8.8.8. So as previously I told you, this is one of the addresses of google.com. If you ping them, so you'll get this kind of data. I'll explain you what it is. So basically ping command is used when we are trying to see if a device is on the network, right? If that IP is on the network, if it is connected to the network, if it is powered on, you will get a reply like this: reply from 8.8.8, and the bytes transferred and the time it took to reach out to them. Okay, all these things it will show you if you type the ping command. So ping is usually the most common command that administrators use to check if any device is on the network at the moment, or if it has any issues connecting with the network. So basically it will not connect, right? So to determine that if it is connected or not, you can use this command. So these are the basic commands that we will be using as an system administrator, right? Ping, NS lookup, and like ipconfig all. So there is a few more DHCP commands as well. I will tell you. So what? are the DHCP commands that we are using with ipconfig, right? So ipconfig space slash release. What does this do? This will release the IP address that is currently on my system. Okay, so this happens like this is useful in a DHCP environment, mostly in the organizations, in the companies, not in home. Don't use this one. This is not required basically. Okay, so if you use this command, it will delink the IP address that is connected to my system at the moment. Let's see. So it has delinked everything that is every IP address that is connected to my uh, network interfaces. Now I want to get a different IP address, or maybe whatever available IP address is there on the DHCP apart from the IP which was assigned to me. So maybe it can get the same IP as well. The next time we connect it, we can do this one, ipconfig slash renew. It will try to get any IP address that is available on the DHCP server, and it will assign that IP address to your computer. Let's see. So it took some time, but it came back with IP address. So it currently assigned me the same IP address that is uh, available with the DHCP server. But this is in home, so basically you won't get much changes here. But in organizations, you can try it. You will come to know more about which IP addresses are available and what is being assigned, right? So these two we basically refer to as the DHCP commands. Uh, so these are the most common DHCP commands, and in many interviews, people ask what are the DHCP commands. So you can refer to these two things: ipconfig slash renew and ipconfig slash release. Okay, so you can go ahead and search up more about the commands, the basic commands that we are using, and you will come to know about more of the commands, right? So just go on Google and try to you know, research about this basic commands. Try to learn more networking, as this is my personal suggestion. I will suggest you that networking basic is required in every stage of your IT infrastructure career, right? If you don't understand networking, it will become a little difficult for you to understand networking in not just in the physical environment. It will be difficult for you to understand in the virtual environment as well, in the cloud environment as well. So learn networking as much as you can. Okay, so that's it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next video. If you liked it, please like, subscribe to my channel, and you can always ask your questions on the comments. I will try to answer them. And till then, take care. Bye.